Okay, so for topic 3, Halloween is this week, so we're gonna do 2 Halloween topics. But the first one we're gonna do is
Halloween.
favorite horror game or best horror game. I don't like horror games at all, so I'm gonna probably say the best one that kept me away from wanting to play it, which is probably like the original Silent Hill games because I fucking hated those things.
Did you try them?
I did try them, and it fucking I'm a fucking bitch.
The only whenever it's Silent Hills, I always think of just the one with the nurses and Pyramid Head. Is that the one you're talking about? But
Uh,
I think that's like either two or
It was
three.
one in the city. I didn't finish it because I played it like one of the first ones when I was younger, and I could not finish it because I can't stand scary shit, which I'm gonna talk about a lot. And
Yet you bought the Saw video game.
see, I wouldn't say Saw is a real horror story.
Gore porn isn't horror.
I mean, I guess it is, but it's not like I'm more scared of like the what could be around this corner. Not I'm stuck in
Yeah,
a
so
fucking
so the pig person.
yeah,
The only time you got scared
pretty
and
much. I was thinking of other ones.
that was terrifying though in that game though when like you have to like trap him in that cage and like you actually finally see him because he like stalks you for most of that horrible game. But then he like you have to get like right in his fucking face at a certain point. You're like, holy shit, this is terrifying.
I was thinking of the Five Nights at Freddy's game. Those fucking I've never played one, but just watching them
Yeah,
would scare me.
I get it might just be like the premise because like I don't know. It's like that whole thing where like clowns are scary even though they're a childhood fucking like party thing.
I
Like
don't like that there's like nothing you can do. You just sit in that room and that thing's gonna fucking
yeah,
pop.
you're locked in, which is like definitely something that they think about. And like some of the thought that goes in, like if you listen to developers talk about like how they design horror games, it's like actually really smart and really cool.
Probably.
Like because if you take the control away from them or you limit their control at certain points, it's just like unbelievable. Until Dawn, I would say is
Yeah,
a
that's why I wanted to play that because I wanted to get a little bit like a better feel of what that is. But I know that the premise of it.
yeah, I know like the whole story, but there's also different alterations. So like maybe you do something in one scenario that avoids a fight, and but then the other time it could be like probably the best jump scare in the game,
Yeah, that's true.
something like that. So that game just
It has
it does the horror pretty well, but it also
they can be
does the
different.
whole multiple
Yep.
stories thing. Well, not multiple stories, but multiple
Yeah.
outcomes, I would say.
I was thinking of also Alan Wake kind of freaked me out a little bit. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a
Yeah,
huge.
yeah.
Wouldn't say it's a huge horror game, but it had some had some moments.
It's that whole darkness thing, I would
Yeah,
say.
probably. I'm
Right, and that's another thing. Like you're kind of limited by the light. You have limited batteries. You have limited flare guns.
Yep.
I mean, they gave you enough to work with, but like that first time where you're not really armed yet, and you have to run for that first fucking lamp, but then it goes out,
Yep.
and you have to like find the generator like while the thing's still chasing you. Plus the dodge mechanic, it was pretty intense. Like you can hear somebody coming up on your six, and then you have to do that quick dodge to just like do it in slow mo, and you see like the hatchet miss your head by like 2 feet. Well, not well, like 2 inches, and it's like, oh my God, I just got away by the skin of my teeth.
uh, the beginning of Resident Evils, those are kind of really scary and freaky. But maybe that was just because we were younger, and I don't like scary games
Well,
to
I
be.
didn't really play the beginning
Oh
ones. I think
well,
I started really with
you're
four.
lucky.
Yeah, probably. I can see like Nemesis being fucking
I
terrifying.
had like an older cousin. I have an older cousin that's like 6 years older than me, and I always used to go to his house, and he'd always have like the older kids games that I probably wouldn't be allowed to play. But we'd play him anyways. We'd be sitting like in his basement at like midnight or 1 a.m. playing scary games. Like, oh, this fucking blows so much.
I did play Slender at the
I was
request of my
I was
sister.
gonna say
Slend
Slender's
Slender is terrifying.
probably. I would. Aren't you in like a
It
forest?
kind of isn't. Well, like for the longest time, he's not around because you have to find so many pages before he actually starts being like a significant threat. Because like when you're on one page, he's not really gonna like jump right in your face. But like when you're one page away and he's just like fucking lightning and all over the place, like teleporting, or like right near you, you're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. One time he like teleported right literally in my face where I was sprinting and like I just died. I was like, oh. But
Trying to look up some other horror games because I can't.
oh well, Dead Space, I would
Oh,
say.
Dead Space definitely. I haven't played.
Dead Space is -3 because it made three just a fucking just an onslaught of killing necromorphs.
Let's see what else. So I heard the new Soma game is pretty scary. I mean, we neither of us have
Yeah, a lot
played
of
it,
people have been
but
playing that. That's kind of like it's almost like BioShock, right? In the darkness.
yeah, So
Yeah,
it's
I still don't know what the enemy is in that. I was watching James and Elise from Funhouse
yep.
and Game Trailers play, and like she had played at work, and he was playing for the first time, and she was trying to kind of bait him into like a jump scare. I was feeling like, and he just never got to it, and it didn't happen for him. And then she was like, "What the hell?"
What
But then they like cut the video, and I was like, "Oh,
what about like Alien Isolation? I guess that's not a horror game, but when that
yeah."
alien
I went into that thinking it would be more scary,
oh, then they made it
and it
seem like it'd
didn't.
be more scary, but
Yeah, it really didn't
when you first
end
get
up being
jumped on
that.
by that alien, though, that's a little bit of a jump scare, I would say.
What do you mean when you get jumped on?
Like
When
when the
he
alien attacks you and kills you, basically.
Oh, the first time it gets
Yeah,
you?
so that's
Yeah, I can see
it's a
that.
little bit. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say it's
When really only times I was scared is when I was just kind of like I knew where he was, but like I didn't pull up the whatever the tool is that shows the radar map thing. Like, and I didn't pull it up, and then all of a sudden I hear him drop on the vent that I just passed under, and he's already in my back pocket, and there's nothing you can do. Like that was terrifying.
I remember when we were playing that at your house, and you were like, "I can hear him above me. He's gonna fucking get me."
Yeah.
uh,
Because you could hear him drop down on a vent, and like the way the sound worked in that game, like you couldn't tell if it was the vent right that you were right under or like the one down the hall. And like when it was down the hall, you were like, "Thank fucking God." But then like you wanted to keep an eye on him, but then like he might see you. So I guess parts were terrifying.
I was
But I wanted to say I definitely went in thinking that was going to be scarier than it was.
Evil Within was. I mean, Evil Within, I guess, isn't scary.
Yeah, that was another one I thought was going to be scarier than it actually was because it was a kind of more of a psychological
Yeah, like when that guy at the
mind
beginning with
fuck
the
as opposed.
chainsaw, that was kind of scary at the beginning of that game, but
Yeah.
after that, it
Well,
didn't seem.
pretty much anyone with a chainsaw, the Resident Evil 4 one, the guy in the
Oh
first village.
yes, 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 yes.
That one was intense because you were like locked in a room and then the bell tower goes off and then the whole fucking town's attacking you and you're like, oh no,
I was gonna.
trying to board up windows and search for ammo. You don't have much ammo at that point. I can tell you that.
I was gonna bring
Uh,
up PT, which I guess is just Silent Hills, but you didn't know it was Silent Hills
it
at
was
the
a
time.
different version. Yeah, it was a different version of
So
Silent Hill.
I would consider that different because it was more like a tease to it, but it didn't really play like the other Silent Hills plays. But that thing was fucking. I played a little bit of it, but I could not continue on. It's literally sitting on my PS4 just in case we ever want to record it and make me look like an idiot, basically.
We could say games that weren't supposed to be scary but ended up being scary. Thief. The whole. Did you see the keyhole thing?
Thief, like the new
The most
version?
recent Thief. Yeah,
I
the most recent Thief.
don't think so, unless it was part of the main game.
Like there's a mission 5 is like you go to the asylum to figure out stuff and the mission before they jump scare you with the keyhole thing and then they do it again in the
Oh
fucking
wait, you mean
asylum
like the
one.
like in the crate, like the mental house building thing? I think.
Ooh, 5 the asylum thing
Yeah, yeah,
on the
yeah,
island.
yeah. I know what you're talking about
Yeah,
now. I thought it was like
yeah, so like you can feel well first off you have to you go there and the door is closed and then like you go to a certain part on the side of the building and then you can hear the door open and you're like that's weird and then you go inside and then it just randomly paranormal activity closes the door behind you and then you have to look through the keyhole and then she does like this so you're looking in first person through the keyhole and it's all like really close and then like a face just comes out from the side and she like jump scares the fuck out of me and she's like you shouldn't have come here and you're like oh my god you did it again
Maybe-
you literally just did it to me 20 minutes ago
maybe you're right.
and you
Maybe I
just did
should
it again.
have left.
Yeah, and then like if you're lock picking in certain parts of and then in the kitchen and like kind of the basement they have like a mannequin thing, and there's I want to say like a key a key you don't need, but a key that will open up another like wing of the house asylum. So you pick up the key, and then the mannequins have like moved behind you, like closer to you. It's that whole. I forget another game kind of did that too. I feel like.
I was thinking of a scary moment in a game is when in Arkham Knight when the man bat just fucking first gets
Oh
you.
my god! Fucking hate. Yeah, that's another
That's not
one.
a scary game, but that's a fucking wicked scary moment in the game.
Yeah.
You told me about it and I still got scared.
Yeah, yeah, but I could tell you about it, and it, like,
Yeah, I still don't know when it's coming.
can't verify when it's gonna happen. It can just happen whenever.
That's so
you might have to
true.
be in the right part of the city for him to jump scare you.
Probably, but it's still.
Then the fucking Joker does it to you right after, like
Yep.
3 hours later, and you're like, God damn,
Why am I so
gets you
scared?
every time. Well, I mean, that's the thing about jump scares is like even if you know it's coming, when it happens, you're still not really ready for it.
It's so true.
Because like I remember watching we were like in our Spanish class in freshman year of high school, we were watching like I don't know, she was kind of a pushover, the teacher, so we got to watch like America's Funniest Home Videos a bunch of times, and they had like a crocodile, and like I was really big into fucking Steve Irwin and the Crocodile Hunter, and I was really big into the fucking like animals back then. So like it was just a crocodile, and like some guy was like antagonizing it, like trying to be like, I'm gonna pet you. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. I know exactly what crocodiles can do, and that they can snap real quick. And like I was getting ready for it, I'm gonna look really cool in front of my crush, and I'm gonna jump. And I fucking jumped anyway. I was like, God damn it,
uh,
son.
did you ever play the Outlast game on?
No,
Wasn't that a
but I
game that
was
we're
thinking about
always
it
like,
too.
we want to buy that, but we never do?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, that would terrify me. Well,
probably.
maybe not. That's more. It gets too. I think it gets gory towards the end. But like that guy jump scaring you a couple times.
I'm trying to look.
Uh,
Condemned was kind of. I guess that might have been more gory than.
Man, the bear.
Yep, yep, yep.
Bear would have been fucking just. Oh, and then the guy you have to take a picture of in the. It's kind of like the jump scare in Arkham City where you have to like zoom in on the guy, and then he like just he's alive, and like grabs you, and it's like, oh my god.
Trying to.
Because you always think it might happen, but sometimes it doesn't. And then when it does, it messes with you so bad.
It's so
I
true.
had another game that wasn't really hard, but it definitely had. I forget what it was though. Well, maybe Bioshocks. Like the just the fuck uppedness of how the Bioshocks start. I mean, you haven't played one, but like you get to Rapture and like you start realizing that there are crazy people and stuff like that. But then you get to this doctor that's like resculpting bodies and everything, and you're just like, oh my god, like it's so messed up and it's so creepy. Oh, and then the fucking you like pick up a tonic and then like you like something you can hear like I don't know what it is, but you turn around and there's just a guy standing behind you, like he wasn't there at all, and then all of a sudden you pick up a tonic and he's just like in your fucking face, and they do that I think in Bioshock 2 as well with the fire pyro guy that can teleport. So like you know but you know he's there. You've seen him teleport a couple times, but then you pick up something and they do it to you again, and it's just like, oh my god,
I was
can't stop
I was
it.
thinking of a scary moment in a game that's not really a scary game, but in Left 4 Dead when you're fighting the fucking tanks on whatever the highest difficulty in, those are kind of scary fucking moments. Not like scary like
He's more cheap than anything.
I guess, but you're still like
Or the witch when you hear the witch like
yeah.
crying and you're like, it's am I gonna like run into her in the dark during a fight
I mean, I
or
guess those aren't scary moments. Those are more like oh shit moments. I'm about to
yeah.
die.
If they had more outcomes of like what they could do, because like the second a witch gets you, you're like, all right, I guess I'm getting down. Get ready to pick me up.
That's true.
The tank, the tank's kind of the same thing. It's just like you have to dodge his rocks, but he's like 100 like expert. He's like no matter how you try to juke that rock, it's gonna hit you. You literally have to get something in between you and the rock.
I can't.
Yeah,
I
but
can't
I
really
don't
think of
know. It's
any
it's,
other.
it's an honorable mention. I would
It's
say.
yeah. It's not like a typical scary moment, but it's still like a. It's a moment you don't want to be in, which I guess is like a typical. I mean,
Yeah, I would say Rage was kind of
I
scary
never,
for not being like a horror
I never
movie
really
or a horror game.
played Rage, so I have no.
Yeah, like you'd go into you try to infiltrate a base, and like they could literally come out anyway. They were pretty smart in that they would flank you and stuff like that. So at some point you might have like a guy dropping it from the ceiling onto you and like with like bladed hands and shit, and like I just had a fucking another one too. Oh, I was gonna mention like Doom, maybe
Doom, yeah, those are probably
some version of Doom. I'm thinking more Doom 3D with the darkness and stuff.
probably yeah. Was I just had a game too? I keep
Basically, you could probably just think of any game where the fucking when it gives you the option that like when it gives you that scale, like do it so you see this logo but barely see that logo and can't see that logo, and then we're just like, nope, this is a scary game. I'm gonna up it a little.
fighting. I feel like when we this is probably not like another scary moment, but like a frightening, not frightening. I guess I was gonna say when you're fighting Ram in fucking Gears of War, like the first time we fought him and he just fucking wrecked us so bad. I guess that's not really a scary moment. So I don't know. It has. Cause you're just fighting him and he's just like I'm just gonna send the krill and fucking wreck you without doing a fucking damn fucking thing. But I can't really think of any other scary games per se.
Eternal Darkness,
Nah,
even though I didn't play
I
it.
never even heard of that game.
It's that game where I want to say it's kind of like Resident Evil-ish, but then they scare you into thinking that your save file has been overwritten, and like all of a sudden the fucking map might be inverted. You might be walking on the ceiling and shit. It's just it's more psychological, but it definitely would scare you. Like any game that fucking deletes your save file, you're fucking like, oh, you got me.
What about in
You
Batman where
got
the
me.
fucking screen freezes or whatever?
Yeah, yeah, that was kind of the same
That's more
thing.
like a shit. My Xbox broke, I think, more than anything else. So
Yeah, I really thought it might have fucked up once. What was the other one I just had? Uh, Fatal Frame.
I saw that on a list, but I didn't hear anything. I've never played it before, so I didn't really bring it up because I didn't know if you even knew about it or anything
I,
like
I
that.
didn't. I wanted to play it like when it was first kind of out. I think it's a PlayStation 2 game, I want to say. So I had ideas of playing it, but I never actually got around to it. But that's gotta be. It's like Pokemon. It's like Pokemon Snap, but like they're not cute and adorable. They could literally just kill you if they wanted to.
All right. Do you
Oh,
have any
man.
other?
I mean, I'm sure I could think of
Yeah, you
them,
could probably.
but
It's nothing that's top of your head. Let us know down in the comments what you think some of the best horror games, or what are your favorite horror games, or if you disagree and call me a bitch because I am a bitch.